You're going to talk about Obamacare this week.
Yes, I am.
Support it. What's the big new proposal you're going to offer?
Well, first let me say that it's time that we say that the debate over the Affordable Care Act is over. The Supreme Court has twice upheld it, yet the Congress has voted more than 50 times to repeal it. Let's get beyond that. Enough is enough. And we need to strengthen it, not scrap it. It is the core of how we're going to provide health care to Americans going forward, the 16 million. But there are other benefits to it that people who are not on the exchanges are being able to take advantage of. You know, 158 million American women are no longer charged more for health care because of our gender. Young people can stay on their parents' policies till they're 26. If you have a pre-existing condition, insurance companies can't shut you out. We have a lot of positives, but there are issues that need to be addressed. I'm going to address them this week, starting with how we're going to try to control the cost of skyrocketing prescription drugs. It's something that I hear about everywhere I go. That's part of the plan I'll be rolling out in the next few days.
Let me ask you about those Planned Parenthood videos. Have you watched them?
I've seen excerpts from them, and I've certainly read about them. And what I am troubled by are the misleading, inaccurate allegations about them that we heard from Republicans at their debate. This is really an attack on Planned Parenthood, which provides a lot of health services, from cancer screenings to contraceptive services to so many other of the needs women have. And to shut down the government, which some Republicans are advocating, over funding for Planned Parenthood, which takes care of millions of women's health needs, is just the height of irresponsibility.
That's the policy debate this has turned into. But what was your reaction just when you watched them?
Well, you know, look, as Planned Parenthood has said, these were misleadingly edited. They were intentionally taken out of context. The fact is that if we want to have a debate in this country about whether we should continue doing fetal research, then it's not only Planned Parenthood that should be involved in that debate. All of the experts, all of the scientists, all of the research institutions, everybody who is looking for cures to Parkinson's, for example, should be asked, should we continue this? But so far as I am aware, what they did, despite the way it was portrayed, is within the laws that were set up for this.
This week, the Senate's going to vote to impose a federal ban on late-term abortions. Do you support a federal limit on abortion at any stage of pregnancy?
This is one of those really painful questions that people raise, and obviously it's really emotional. I think that the kind of late-term abortions that take place are because of medical necessity, and therefore I would hate to see the government interfering with that decision. I think that, you know, again, this gets back to whether you respect a woman's right to choose or not. And I think that's what this whole argument, once again, is about.
In the politics this year, it looks like everybody wants an outsider. That's, now that puts you in a fix.
I don't think, you know, Don,
does it put you in a fix? Tell us why it doesn't put you in a fix.
I cannot imagine anyone being more of an outsider than the first woman president. I mean, really, let's think about that.
Now, I agree, but
I mean, if
your
you
name,
line up, if you know, all these mothers and fathers bring me the placemats with all the presidents, and they bring their daughters, and they say, my daughter has a question for you, and the daughter says, how come there are no girls on this placemat?
So I agree that is a difference.
I think that's a pretty big, unconventional choice.
But you know what I'm asking.
Well, I know you're asking, do we want people who've never been elected to anything, who have no political experience, who've never made any hard choices in the public arena? Well, voters are going to have to decide that.
But they worry that people who are inside are too inside, that's why the economic situation is tilted against the middle class. It's why they always feel like everybody can wiggle around the rules, and that's something you have to deal with, right?
Of course it is, and that's why I have an economic policy that is centered on raising incomes, because I think what we inherited from the Bush administration, what President Obama had to deal with, had the potential of becoming a Great Depression, not just a Great Recession. We have now recovered 13 million jobs after losing 800,000 a month when he came into office. So why would we go back to the same policies, call them insider, call them tilted toward the rich, call them giving corporations a free pass to do whatever they want? I'm against that. I've always been against that. I want to